Hi everyone, welcome to SMI Hub. My name is Julie and I am so excited to have you guys here today. Today we're going to be talking about something very important to the study permit application, and that's proof of funds. If you're interested in this, just stay tuned. Okay, so basically I'm going to be doing this in a question and answer format. So I'll ask myself questions and I'll answer myself, right? And I really hope you get a thing or two from this video. Let's dive in. Okay, so my very first question will be, can my parents sponsor me? And my answer is yes. Like, there is this myth flowing and floating all around that parents cannot sponsor an applicant. I don't know why, but people feel like, especially if the applicant is mature, they feel he should be capable of sponsoring himself. And I'm here to tell you that parents can sponsor, because the parent is like basically the next of kin, and the spouse as well. So if you're married, your spouse can present a statement for you to help with your application. And if you are mature or not, it doesn't matter. I feel like your parents can also present statements for you. So just basically use what you have. If what you have is your parents' money, then just add it to your application and use it. Okay, how long should the statement be? So you want to print a statement that is for 6 months. So if you're going to be applying, for instance, in June 2022, you want to print a statement that starts from January. So you have January, February, March, April, May, June. Okay, so you have all that 6 months for your statement. This is like the recommended duration for statement of account for a study permit. That's Canadian study permit. I know different countries have different recommended time length. Okay, but 6 months is the ideal. Now there are people that have presented 4 months and their application was approved as well. So it's really a case-by-case basis, but it's better to err on the side of caution and do what is like the ideal thing to do. Okay, and then another question is, how fresh should the statement of account be? So you want to make it as fresh as possible. So if it's possible to go to the bank like 2 days before your application, do it. A day before, do it. Just make sure it's not a stale copy. I feel like for all these kind of applications where you invest so much money, so much stress, so much attention, it's better you just do all you can do from your standpoint. And then we move to the question of sponsorship. So before I start, I want us to know that there are different kinds of sponsorship. There is first person sponsorship. That's when you sponsor yourself, and this is like the easiest, this is the most seamless kind of application, where you present your account in your own name for your application. So if you have like a savings account and you have money in it, you present your name yourself. Or if you have like some investment or something that can be liquefied or can be cashed out, you present it for your application. So I don't have much to say for this situation, but I just want to add that make sure that whatever you present is liquid. It means that show that you have the cash. So you have to be careful when presenting investment. For instance, real estate investment is just basically like, it's complicated, because if a house can sit on the market for 1 year without getting sold, so it's really unsafe to present that kind of monetary basically a monetary asset for an application. You want to present money, or at least some funds somewhere. So if you have like money in fixed deposit, you should show that you can turn it off and make it cash. I would advise that you actually turn it off and then just transfer the money to your account, so that the officer knows that you are able to cash it out. And if you have other investment, I advise you cash it out as well. Now there are exceptions to this case when you have like mutual funds or things like that. For all these kind of funds that you can still cash out before you travel, just prove and show it in your statement. That's the statement of purpose, that you are able to turn this into money before leaving. Okay, and then we move to the second one. That's the second party sponsorship, and this is typically when someone very close to you sponsors you, like your spouse, your husband, your wife, your sibling, your parent, your mom, your dad, that kind of thing. So I feel like this is also pretty straightforward. As long as you present the person's statement of account, what I would recommend is that they transfer the money to your account. It's always good for the money to be in your account. It just shows that the money can actually be released to you. But if you cannot get the money like in your account, you want to show the person's statement of account, you want to attach a letter from the person that promises that they will send the money to your account, and you also want to attach a form of identification that the person has. So maybe like a passport, or maybe like an ID card or something. You just want to show that proof that the person is really going to sponsor you. And then another thing I want to add is that people ask that, do I have to take the letter from my dad or my mom to the court to get it notarized? I feel like when you're using a second person, a second party, that's someone very close to you, you don't have to take it to the court, because it's like your husband or your wife or your mom. I mean, it's your parents. Do you understand? So it's normal, it's natural for them to want to sponsor you. But some people decide to do that, and that's fine. Each person should do it based on how you feel or how inspired you feel about it. Note that I am basically giving recommendations. I am not the IRCC, I am not the CIC, and I am not an agent as well, but I'm talking based on my experiences and also based on experience of people that we have applied for this thing together and that was successful. So yes, that's what I want to say about that. And then the third party sponsorship, and this is where it gets really complicated, when you're using someone that ideally should not be sponsoring you. And when I mean ideally should not be sponsoring you, someone that is really distant from you in terms of relationship. So for instance, if you're using like an uncle or an auntie or a friend or a colleague or your daddy's friend or your mom's friend, you know, people like that that you didn't really, you know, they have no incentive, naturally speaking, to sponsor you. In this kind of case, you really want to show why they should sponsor you, why the visa officer should know that they care. I mean, why should they care about you? And you just want to really establish that relationship in your application. Some people go as far as drawing a family tree that links them together. That's okay. Whatever you want to do, put pictures if you have, like, just link it together. And in this kind of case, I really recommend, as I always do, that they transfer the money to your account. I mean, that just makes it smooth. And if possible, they transfer it like really early, before the 6 months prior to the time of application. So as soon as you know you want to start your study permit application, the person should transfer it. That's the ideal thing to do. So it's in your account, right? So it's in your account 6 months before you even apply. But most people don't have that kind of luxury. So basically, I would advise that do that you attach an ID of the person, a signed letter from the person. It's in this case that you might want to notarize it, the promissory note. So you might want to notarize it, take it to the court and let them notarize it, let the person sign it, and just basically do all you can to prove that this is legitimate. You know, many times people actually have people that want to help them, like maybe their uncle abroad or something really wants to sponsor them, or their auntie in Nigeria wants to really help them, or their uncle in India or wherever your country is really wants to sponsor them, but they are unable to really prove it well in the application, and it comes across as being not genuine, like the visa officer begins to doubt it. So it all depends on how you present your application. As I said, make it very clear who is sponsoring you, why the person should be sponsoring you, and how the person relates with you, and also put the proof that the person is sponsoring you. So in the case where the transfer is being made to your account, this brings me to the issue of lump sum. A lump sum is when you send a very big amount of money, or someone sends it to your account just some days or some weeks before you apply. Especially in a situation where there is no, like, your account does not typically have good cash inflow and good cash outflow. in those kind of situations, the lump sum really stands out as weird. So the visa officer looks through the 6 months and then he sees like maybe 5,000 naira, 7,000 naira, you know, whatever your currency is, and then 2 weeks before the application he sees 50 million naira. You know, it just sends red signal. So try as much as possible to avoid lump sum. But if they have to transfer the money to you very close to the application, make sure that you show proof of who transferred it. Basically explain how the money came to be in your statement. And that's the mistake many people make. They don't explain it. They feel like, you know, the visa officer will just look away. You want to just explain all those kind of things. Use your statement for this purpose. I made a video on statement of purpose. The video is titled over how to apply for a study permit application, you know. So in that video I really talked about the statement of purpose and how you can use it as centralized to your application, how you can use it to say what you cannot be able to say, because it's not an interview kind of application. So in that statement you want to explain that so transferred this to me on so date. See statement of account attached, and even if you like, you can circle like the date when it was transferred so that the visa officer sees when it came in, and then explain who the person is to you and why the person is sponsoring you, and attach the promissory note. So before I close, I want to just quickly say some things. I've talked about lump sum and I want you to really be wary of lump sum. Be wary of lump sum. If you're going to have a lump sum come into your account, make sure you explain it thoroughly. And then the second thing I want to say is that you put yourself into the visa officer's shoes anytime you are doing your application. You put yourself into their shoes and just assume you are the one looking at the application. Are you going to approve the application? Are you going to feel there is something off about it? Are you going to really believe that the money is genuine? So put yourself in their shoes as you're doing the application. Your application is a story, so make sure you tell it clearly without vague, strategic about your coming to Canada. You are moving to a new country. You are moving to somewhere where you possibly do not have roots. Somewhere some people might not even know one single soul in the country, and so you want to be sure that you are financially covered. And I'm going to break this down. So even if you are using a sponsor and all of that and you get the visa, you just want to be sure that you are able to really cover the tuition and living expenses. For your information, I know I've mentioned this in a previous video on how to apply for a study permit. CIC demands that you present 10,000 Canadian dollars for your living expenses and that you cover the whole amount of your tuition for the first year. So you really need to show proof of fund that you have enough money to cover $10,000 Canadian dollars living expenses and your tuition. And that's what you want to target. And make sure you meet that minimum, because they don't joke with this part of the application. Okay, so when you've gotten your sponsor and you've applied and you've been successful, you actually still need to pay your tuition when you get here. And there is so much that working 20 hours a week can cover. You can just you can't get so much to be able to both feed yourself, pay rent, pay tuition, and all of that. So you want to ask questions. For instance, before you even apply, before you choose the school that you apply to, you want to look around for schools that are really affordable. And I'm talking to those that will be paying their tuition by themselves. You want to look around for schools that are affordable, that you can actually pay for. And then you also want to look, call the school, and I'm advising that you call the school and ask them if they give refunds, because some school require that you pay a particular deposit before you can even get your admission letter. That's even after your application is successful. Now, I mean your application for admission, they require you to pay a particular down payment. So ask if that down payment is refundable, so that in the case or eventuality of anything, you're able to get your money back, maybe to do another application or at least have your money. So you need to confirm that. In my case, I really did not, because I have funding, so my program came with funding, and I'm going to be doing a video which I'll put up very soon, on how to get a supervisor, that will fund your research, and how to get that kind of programs that come with funding. Typically, if you do a PhD, it comes with funding, and that's what I'm doing. So in my case, I didn't have to look for money for tuition and for living expenses. Okay, but when a person has to pay tuition, you have to make sure you put all of these things in place, either when you're doing it for yourself or you're doing it for your child that you'll be sponsoring. So you call the school and ask them, do you give a refund of the deposits? Know that. Then the second thing I would also advise is that you call them and ask if this money can actually be paid instrumentally. So you want to call the school and ask if you can pay your tuition every month. So if for instance you have to pay $10,000 in a year, you want to call the school and ask them that can they break it down in for the, I think, eight months. I think a session is 8 months, I can't thereabout. So can they break it down into 8 so that you end up paying at least something that you can afford to pay every month? These are the questions you should ask the school, and you can easily do this by going on your website and looking for the graduate assistant if you're doing a graduate program, or the undergraduate assistant in the department, and just send them that email. Feel free to send these people email. That's what they are paying them for, so that you know what you are going into. Because at the end of the day, if you don't have the money, you don't want to drop out halfway in the program. But if you have, for instance, the flexibility to pay every month, that makes a whole lot of difference. If you are an applicant that is funded, do you need to show extra proof of fund on top of that funding? I would say, really, if your funding covers the living expenses, that's $10,000 for living expenses, and covers your tuition, I really don't think you need to show extra. If you have money to show, please show it, because with applications, more is actually more, and less can be too small, as in too little can be too little. So here, this is not a case of it's too much or something. No. So whatever you can do to make your application extra good, just do it. If you have the money, apart from the funding that you're being given, please present it. If your parents have the money, if your spouse has the money, present it and add it to your application. At least it will show that you have money to cover your flight and your at least feeding for the first month before you start getting your stipend. Okay, so that's just what I'm going to end with. I put a lot of love into this video, and I really hope you've enjoyed the information I have here. For more content like this, remember to subscribe and also like this video. It really helps to keep me motivated. Thank you so much for tuning in. Till the next time. Bye bye.